Naples nil, Madison 1. FC Naples' first loss of the season comes at the hands of Forward Madison at home Saturday night. Paul, were you able to experience this game?
So got to experience it about a day late. So I went to the Elite Eight game, the Arizona Purdue game last night. So I had to text our group chat that, hey, no spoilers. I'm not going to be watching the FC Naples game live. Fully committed that I could go a full day without finding out the score. I'm not on social media right now, so I was like, surely I can pull this off. And unfortunately, I did open the ESPN app, and up top. Madison won, Naples nil. It's about the 25th minute. So I was like, okay, got that. I'll just skip to the 25th minute when I get to watching it. So after the two games, the other two Elite Eight games on Sunday, I was able to sit down and watch the final 65 minutes of the game on ESPN Plus, the replay. And so shout out to the friends and my fiance for not spoiling the outcome. I did mention to her that if I'm about to sit down and watch zero goals, if I'm signing myself up for zero goals, I'm going to be a little upset that I did it this way. Uh, but 10 out of 10, do not recommend ever doing that. Trying to DVR a game or try to watch it a day late. Luckily, at this level, it's not on mainstream news, so I didn't get it spoiled. But I've heard this myth that there are people that record games and watch them later, and I just don't see the value in doing that. So it was a one and done for me. The match highlights in the future, if I can't make a game, is how I will be experiencing games that I missed. Not trying to rewatch the whole thing a day later.
Yeah, it's tough when you do know the result to go back and watch it and see how it all unfolded. Yeah, I also would not recommend that, and I also would not have the patience to actually not check and see what the final score was. So well done and hats off to you. And I do apologize for ruining the result and saying that was unfortunate at the end to you, forgetting that you did not know the score.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it was a little bit easier with the with the way my weekend went, that I was kind of off my phone. You know, got home late from the basketball game. You go to bed, you wake up, church Sunday morning, into the Elite Eight games, and then right from there, boom, into the FC Naples game, which honestly did kind of enjoy that because it did give me an extra game to watch. West Coast, the sporting events usually are done around 4, so was kind of nice to have an additional game to watch today. Just unfortunate result.
Yeah, unfortunate. It was bound to happen at one point. We knew we were going to lose. I do have to take some of the blame here. We did not release a Forward Madison preview pod, unfortunately. There's somewhat of a good reason for that. My wife and I welcomed a baby girl to the world on Wednesday, so we were kind of busy at the hospital. Shout out to everyone at NCH, the birthing place, North Naples Hospital. Great to everyone was so friendly and welcomed our baby girl to the world. So yeah, unfortunately no preview pod for you all, but I hope that's a good enough excuse not to have one. And then we did not get home until Saturday night around 5:30, 6 o'clock. So I got to watch the game on ESPN Plus as well. Was not really feeling up for after very little sleep going down to Paradise Coast Sports Complex. So got to experience the game on ESPN as well, which was a lot of fun to see the stands and see everything from a different perspective, which is something I haven't really had the chance to do. So yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe you let me tell my story first. That story was way better, and if we were a better produced show, we would have probably led with that. That was probably the bigger news of the weekend. So congratulations to you and your wife on the second kid in the world, and good to hear that you don't have to buy another ticket. That your daughter is going to be able to join you without a ticket.
Yeah, I believe 2 and under are still free according to the ticket
Nice.
policies. So we're targeting a game. I think around May. I think she might be ready for her first FC Naples game. Just gonna take some time now because all she's really doing is sleeping and eating currently. So,
That's a pretty
but
good life.
yeah, both mom and baby healthy and happy. So good to be home though, and hope to be out on Tuesday night with our 2.5-year-old son. So let him run around a little bit.
Get the energy out.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this game. Different formation to start. We saw five at the back. We saw Jaden Strumier and Tristan Rose make starts. Yoder was on the bench for this one. What did you make of this back five kind of formation, and Backstein getting the start up top kind of as a solo striker? What did you make of that formation from the jump?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting strategy. Off the rip, I think I like if we can figure out an effective way to implement it. I do think that it would suit our play style, where you can kind of have those two guys that float between the back line and pushing forward. Backstein alone up top, I think I like. However, it's just we were so effective in the first few games. I'd be curious the why behind it, and if it's really anything other than, hey, early in the year we want to try something new, see if it works. Not, you know, didn't seem like we should have dropped points to Madison. Um, so yeah, don't hate the trial. Um, and wouldn't be surprised if we see it on Tuesday night. Would have probably been the better place to trial a new formation.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was because of Tuesday night that we went with this different formation and kind of rotated some players. Like we saw, Kevin O'Connor was one name that I think was left off the
Hmm.
the team sheet, the starting 11, that I was kind of surprised at, as well as Chris Garcia, just because those guys have been kind of there throughout the season and have been so good in the midfield. Um, I wasn't. I was like, okay, let's give this a try. But yeah, I agree. I kind of thought Tuesday would be the night that we tried this, but I think he's kind of prepping everyone, and the team's getting ready to be a full out. Okay, we're gonna go all out on Tuesday to make sure we can advance in the cup because we've got a chance to do something there, and
Hmm.
then have guys also then rested if Tuesday does go long, or if we do have to rely on those starters longer than we expect on Tuesday, we've got guys kind of freshened up for Saturday, so they're not playing too many games. I think that might have been part of why it happened. But yeah, at first, the first 30-ish, 40 minutes, I also did not like the five at the back. I don't think we were really well adjusted to it. It kind of looked out of place. I did like the ability, and we've talked about it a lot, how Glasser and Cisneros can get really forward. And this kind of freed them up even more to do that with the back
Hmm.
five. So I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it in the future, but I think it's going to take some time to kind of bed these guys in at the back, especially the middle three.
Hmm.
Those three center backs there with Rose and Strumier coming in. Master Antonio's kind of been the staple back there. So be curious to see how we do line up now going into Tuesday and then next Saturday, if we go back to what we've been doing, or if we keep this five at the back and let those two guys really act as wing backs and get further forward up the field.
Yeah, and I think we saw our answer with Backstein why he hasn't been a regular starter. Pullen pulled him. I think in the 61st
I
minute
think
is
it
when
was
he
halftime.
or
He was one of the
halftime.
halftime
It
changes.
was it was an early a lot. You know, Poland definitely used the full complement of subs, which kind of goes back to your point that it did seem like this was seen as a good rotational game. And really, with the way the second half went, really how the game went, you would have thought that that's a game when we go to Madison, we should be anticipating 3 points. Because I don't, the second half, I didn't see much from Forward Madison. Looked like they had a couple good opportunities in the first 25 minutes that I
Yeah.
didn't admittedly watch. Um, and you get the goal off the corner, which is not the first time. I don't believe that's the first corner we've allowed to go in. So some concern starting to build there that corners could be dangerous. But the second half, it was all us. And I was really waiting, um, with your cryptic text messages. I was fully anticipating with the way we were applying pressure, not to get 1 point, but really 2 points. Or I'm sorry, 3 points. I thought we were going to get 2 goals, like 2 late goals. I thought we were due. The way that they were striking the ball, the saves that their keeper was making, hats off to their goalie. I really thought we were going to walk away with 3 points, and certainly I thought we were guaranteed one. So I, yeah, I think that it's a disheartening loss, um, but also one I think we can shake off and move on. I think we just listed several reasons why we didn't walk away with 3 points. Um, not concerned. I'm actually less frustrated with that performance versus the Corpus game. I don't know what your thoughts on that are. That this one I'm left with less of a bad taste in my mouth than I was after Corpus.
Yeah, I think we recovered really well in this game. I want to talk about the goal too, coming in the 19th minute off the corner. Up until that point, I did think it was mostly Madison. We were really under pressure, and they were really taking it to us, winning corners, having shots. Delgado had a save right before that, I think. It was really all Madison, and then just a header, just a great, well taken header. He gets over. I think it was Rose was defending Rose's man. He just gets up and wins it. On one of those goals that you kind of look back and it's like, all right, yeah, good goal, well done, hats off. And then, all right, how are we going to respond? And it kind of took us maybe 10 minutes, but like you said, come the 30th-ish minute of that, with the last 15 minutes of that half, it was all us, and we had chance after chance. Farine put one just wide almost right before halftime. Cisneros was in there, and just a great ball comes across 1v1 with the keeper, and the keeper just makes a fantastic save. Like, it's a great strike by Cisneros, but the keeper somehow, I don't know how he gets a hand to it, needs to be save of the week. I think the save of the week nominations, all four of them should be from their keeper. Harms, he was phenomenal. Like you said, and yeah, like you said too, because we did show so much fight, especially like 82nd minute on. We had those subs at halftime, kind of looked better with Gray coming on and Torres coming on. I think those guys really started to make a difference. And then it was the 62nd minute, he made three more subs, used up all five by that point. And, O'Connor, Gay, and Garcia all coming on, I think really did it was like, all right, it's go time. Let's go. And by the time those guys kind of got into the game, it was it was just too late, because it was 82nd minute, and now we're firing in all cylinders. It was shot after shot. Their keeper's making great saves, and that's when I thought the same thing. I'm standing up in my living room, both hands behind my head, like, okay, we're gonna get a goal here, if not two. This game's got another goal in it, and unfortunate that we came across a goalkeeper that decided to have the game of his life, and kept everything out of the net. So hats off to them. But yeah, you're right. Seeing that fight at the end really does kind of let me leave with, okay, we can do this.
It didn't feel like a desperation, effort at the end. Sometimes you get that where, you'll see it in boxing matches where the fighter doesn't do anything the whole fight. And then in round 12, there was a couple jabs, and you're like, what was that for? They fought the whole way back. And I think when you reflect on a game, specifically when you take the bigger view of, hey, this is a long season, you look at moments. And this wasn't a game, like, I can't really pinpoint any real bad moments. They have a good goal. And then all the other big moments, they were our moments that their goalie just matched. So every time we had a big chance, they stepped up and made he specifically stepped up and made a key save. So you walk away from that a little frustrated that, we walk away from that game with nothing. But in the holistic long-term season, those goals are going to fall. You're going to end up, we play that same game 5 times. We walk away with 3 or 4 goals in 3 of those games. So,
Right.
you walk away tipping the cap. Hey, you guys had the best player on the pitch tonight. It happened to be your keeper. And when we see you guys in a few weeks in Madison, we'll be ready for you.
Yeah, I think it's too, going back to the Richmond game where I didn't think we really played that well. We didn't create a lot of chances necessarily. This game it felt like a lot like that Richmond game at times, right before, like the last 50, with the exception of the last 15 minutes of the first half and kind of the last 10, 15 minutes of the second half. It was a lot of, okay, we're not really playing particularly well. We're not really creating anything. We're moving the ball decently, but we weren't really getting anything going. And seeing that we can do that, it's like, okay, we need to kind of get to that point earlier, really start putting them under pressure and just creating more chances. You look at the final statistics, given all of that, I think we had 14 total shots, 5 shots on target to their 7 total shots, 4 on target. So we were kind of all over them. And some of those 14 shots, like the Farine one, I think it nicked the post on the way out.
Yeah.
It was just tough stuff and tough loss, tough not to pick up 3 points. But like you said, long season. We get back on the horse now and we ride again on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's funny. Of our last 3, I think the opening night win is probably our best performance. But the other 3 league matches, we win, we draw, we lose. And I would go so far to say this is probably the game I felt best about. I think the answer would have been Corpus had we walked away with 3 points. You eliminate those 2 or 3 minutes of stoppage time. I'd probably go there, but that was so bad that I circled to this one where it's like, in October, we're not going to remember that we didn't pick up any points. We're just going to see the level of performance and hopefully be seeing that later in the year, or, from this point on, we'll be seeing that type of fight and those chances created. And this will be a game that we don't really even look back on as really anything.
Yeah. I think this Madison team too, like, credit where it's due. That was a really solid performance from them, mostly from their keeper, JT Harms. He was outstanding. He's 24 years old. Just well done, sir. Well done. I know you listen to this podcast, but well done to you. I think they're going to be good this year. And we saw them beat Knoxville in Knoxville 2-1. They did lose in the U.S. Open Cup, but that was only their second game. I think Madison, they were one of my teams too to watch out for. Was it one of yours? One of our teams to watch out for. So maybe we do know what we're talking about on here. But I think they're going to be a good team this year, and that was a good test of, okay, we've kind of seen where we're still trying to kind of pace ourselves and see what level we're at compared to the rest of the league, just because it is such a long season. I mean, we've played 4 games, they've played 2. And don't forget, we are still top of the league after playing 4 games. Sure, lots of teams have a game in hand, but we've played 4, we've got 7 points. I think we take that and we move on to Tuesday and then Saturday against Greenville.
Yeah, I just want to add, I'm looking through my notes here, and I do see that I did scribble Forward Madison as a playoff team. So, it's, again, you don't want to overreact to a game because who knows, this team could end up being one of the top teams in the league, and they came on the road and I would say that they earned that victory. We didn't give them 3 points. They came in and they did take it. Which there's something a little bit better versus Corpus, who we gave Corpus the point. So
right.
We
long definitely
season.
Made them work for it.
Yeah, they earned it. Tip the cap, like you said, and we'll move on. We'll be better on Tuesday, and as the league moves forward, I don't walk away with a whole lot of questions from this one.
Yeah. Do you have a man of the match from our side? I mean, I think we would both give it to the Madison keeper, but do you have a man of the match from our starting 11? Because I think I would go. Go ahead.
No, you can go.
I think I would go Farine, just because I think he only played 60 minutes. I think once he gets his goal this season, the floodgates are going to open. He has looked so good, just top notch. He just has not been able to get the goal. And I don't think it's necessarily his fault. He's had really good looks. He's had a couple shots get saved. The Open Cup game, he had 3 or 4 where he's in on goal and the keeper just decides he's going to make a great save. I thought he looked really good for the time that he played, and I'm hoping that he can finally get his goal this season on Tuesday night in the Open Cup.
Yeah, I think I absolutely love that take that the floodgates for him will open up. I think this year he's not the guy. I feel like last year he was, we had Henderlong, we had Onan, but I still feel like Farine was so involved and so heavily. Henderlong was easy to scout out of a game, but teams really had to work to scout Farine out of the game. This year we have so many other weapons out there. I think that he's going to find more openings where he can take advantage. So I'm with you. I hope he scores Tuesday night and can start throwing tallies up in league play. I'm not going to give a man of the match. I don't believe in a loss anybody deserves to be man of the match. So it's not because I think that there was a lot of adequate performances.
Yeah.
But there wasn't anybody, and you took Farine, who had a couple big chances. So, yeah, I'm going to recuse myself from giving a man of the match in this one because it is obviously the goalkeeper for Madison.
Oh, yeah. Easily he wins our man of the match award.
I'd be surprised if he wasn't player of the week. Not only getting save of the week, but he deserves player of the week.
He should be player of the week. I think he easily had 4 saves from that game that could be and probably should be nominated for save of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And then to go back to last week too, I don't know how Delgado's save against Richmond does not win save of the week. The Portland Hearts of Pines fans just spammed the vote, and it's not fair. I think that should not be a fan vote, in my opinion. That should go to like journalists like us, true journalists that know what they're talking about. Sorry, I'll get off my rant now, but I think he could easily have 4 nominations for save of the week. It was outstanding. And maybe even goal of the week. Somehow you can give it to him for keeping the goal out because we had a couple great header looks. O'Connor had a great look late, 90th minute. Doesn't fall because of him making a great save. He came out, collected a ball, was like, what the heck is he doing? Oh, he saved it. Wow. Okay. Also, master time waster. We said we had to talk about this too. He wasted so much time at the end of that game. Something that as a former goalkeeper back in my day, you love to see. Picked up a yellow card for time wasting, and somehow we still didn't play all 4 minutes of stoppage time. So you be the judge there. That was an impressive performance from a time wasting standpoint as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've noticed that in a couple halves this year already, that the minimum 4 minutes of stoppage time is not always 4 minutes or whatever the time allotted. That we've seen a couple early whistles, and we've also seen a couple of them run really long. So I don't know what your thoughts are. I kind of think of you as the traditional football fan and me as the newer fan of the game, and I'm okay with some of these rule changes that make the game, in my opinion, better, more enjoyable. But as the traditional fan, what's your thoughts on that? 4 minutes is put up on the board for stoppage time. How much time should be played, and kind of at what point should that final whistle blow? Because as somebody that's watched a lot of soccer over the last few years, I really cannot figure out. I know it's quote unquote playing the advantage, but I've seen at times corners not be given because it's been after the allotted time. I've also seen 2 or 3 corners given after the allotted stoppage time. So as the traditionalist, I'll defer to you on your thoughts on that topic.
Yeah, I like it, and I like that it's just kind of a judgment calling up to the referee. I don't know how we didn't have at least an extra 30 seconds to a minute, especially after he got the yellow card for time wasting. I think they had 2 goal kicks that probably ran another minute and a half. This is in the 4 minutes of stoppage time off the clock. So I think there probably should have been a little bit of extra time. unfortunate. I think we had a couple of softer penalty shouts too that weren't given. Obviously, it's one of those where, yeah, like flip a coin, yes or no.
Mhm.
I think one of them ended up being a foul on us coming out, and I kind of watched the replay like, oh. That's not what you asked me. You asked about the stoppage time, but
Yeah,
I like the way it is. I'm just going into my rants now of all my other thoughts, trying to get them out.
so I like the concept, right? And I do. I like the idea, hey, we understand the ball wasn't in play. We're gonna add some more time on. But right, we see it in the Corpus game where it comes back where it felt like they added, several minutes because there were two goals
Right.
late. And I'm okay with that concept. I just don't know. I guess where my confusion is at what point does the clock actually stop and we're going to give this time back, and when are we not? And I'm with you because I know there were multiple times late in that game where I clicked the fast forward 10 seconds multiple times and he still hadn't kicked the ball yet. That was kind of my judge that there was a lot of time wasting. So, yeah,
He was
that's kind
very
of my
thirsty.
thoughts.
I think a lot of the Madison players were very thirsty, where they had to go get the water bottle, take a sip of water, take their time, and something that if we were doing, I would also be applauding because it was well
It's
worked,
part of the game.
good clock management, right? We've been
Yeah,
watching a lot
it's
of
part
March
of the
Madness.
game.
It's all about clock management. That's what it
Mhm.
is.
Yeah, and I don't have an issue with it. It just goes back to the original point, and I don't think we got the answer to my question. I don't think we will in this podcast. So we'll chat off air about that, so you can educate me a little bit more. But I think the frustrating thing, and understand this is a developmental league. You talked about a couple of the fouls. I'm okay with fouls going either way in this league. Again, understand developmental league for the referees. I just don't know how you can justify booking somebody for time wasting. And then not only did you do that, you didn't even give us the full 4 minutes. I think that's where at that point you have the right to be a little frustrated, especially in that case. And I guarantee there's going to be a game later in the year where we're going to be mad that they don't blow it, at 3 minutes and 50 seconds of a 4 minute stoppage time. We were just it was there. That goal was there. And if we would have had one more attack, we might walk away
Yeah.
with the point.
Yeah, there's certain games where you look at them and it's like, okay, we could still be playing now, 24 hours later, and I don't think we'd score. That definitely was not one of those games. It was more so, I don't know how we've not scored, and I think, yeah, the extra 30 seconds, minute, we could have scored. So unfortunate. I do have to give a shout out though, the commentator for the game. I don't know if you caught this. There was a couple Edmund Fitzgerald references thrown in there with Madison, Wisconsin, and always appreciate a good Edmund Fitzgerald reference.
Unfortunately, I had to watch the game on mute because Summer House was on, so I was not able to listen to too much of the commentary. So, yes. Also, we didn't talk about the 7 minutes from about minute 46 until the 53rd minute, where I don't know if that was. I assume it had to have also been live because it was just nothing for a good 5 to 7 minutes. Game experiencing technical difficulties. Did you see that watching it live?
Yes. Well, the weather delay also threw me off. It was 12 minutes, but I went to tune in at 7:00, and the stream just wasn't live.
Okay.
So yeah, I think there was a couple live though. I don't think it was that long because I think it was just coming out of halftime. We lost it, and then it came right back. I don't think we missed very much though, because the whole start of the second half until about the 80th minute, there was not a lot in the game, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think we're on the same page walking away from this one. Hopefully, it's always good to feel disappointed with the loss, but the fortunate thing is, as a fan that watched the game on Sunday afternoon, I only got to wait 48 hours until we're back in action. 72 if you caught the game live.
True. Yeah. So we're very much we're on to Cincinnati type move. We're on to FC America CFL
How many
Spurs.
people? How many people do you think just got that reference? How many people out there got the we're on to Cincinnati reference?
I don't think very many. If you did, sound off in the comments. We're on to CFL Spurs in the U.S. Open Cup, a UPSL team, so a division below a semi-pro team. The last game I could find was they played DME Academy on February 22nd, is what it looks like. They did win. In the UPSL, they played a couple other teams. I was actually able to find some games with these guys, unlike Red Force we played last time. So this year they have won 3 games, drawn 1. They've scored 18 goals so far. Most of those they scored 8 goals in their first game and then 4 goals in their last game. So it seems like these guys can score. What are you looking for from FC Naples in the Open Cup with a chance to possibly play an MLS team in the next round?
Yeah, I think this is, we kind of talked about it last time. It's a get right spot, just everything we've been talking about all the positives. Let's see that in action on Tuesday against a far lesser side. I don't think it's, after our first U.S. Open Cup match, I don't think it's disrespectful to say that we are going to be the much better side on Tuesday. With that being said, doesn't mean a cup set couldn't happen. So hopefully we don't get complacent with our performance in the first match day of the U.S. Open Cup. We can come out strong, put a couple goals up in the first half, and kind of cruise in the second half, get some subs in, avoid some injury. But I would like to see the starting 11 at least for the first 45. And if we have a 2-goal lead, maybe trot some guys out there for the start of the second half. And again, looking to see all 5 subs used, ideally not on a goalie. We'll see. Like to see our, the midfield and the strikers keep fresh legs for Saturday. I wouldn't hate if the back line stayed in for the full 90. Would like to see the midfield and the guys up forward get some rotation.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I wouldn't mind seeing how we kind of ended the game. So after that 62nd minute, seeing that kind of being our starting 11. So we'd have Garcia, Gay, and O'Connor in there. But I also really want to see Farine get the start. I think if you let him run wild, especially against a team like this, I think he should be able to get his goal, really get that confidence going. We've seen what Torres can do. He's made difference in so many games so far this season. So getting him the start as well. I know he came on at halftime. I think that would be good to see. The back line too, like you said, if we keep that back 5, happy with that. Also would love to see Rose and Stromier get some more minutes and see, what these guys can really do with a full 90 and maybe with just 4 at the back. Or we go back to Master Antonio and Yoder kind of holding that center back line together. But yeah, with you, want to see us go all out. Let's go win this. Let's go put them in their place. Remind them, yeah, you guys are a good semi-pro team, but you're just a semi-pro team. We're the professionals. We're gonna advance in this tournament. Hoping for that.
Yeah, and we talked about it. The back line's the group that needs the most minutes together. In my opinion, right? Like you build that chemistry. I think the wingers and the forwards, you can get enough of that on the training ground where you can get the feel for each other. I mean, in using this as, you mentioned earlier, getting the lid off the goal for Perrine, get him on the score sheet, get a couple guys feeling good about the way they're playing so that come Saturday, they can do the same. And then just keeping that back line, building that communication, that trust, against the lesser side. I don't see a better way to practice playing together as a back line than a team that you should be able to beat. So you treat them like they're a league level team, you as the back line, and then you're a little more aggressive up forward. That's kind of what I would like to see out of the squad on Tuesday. And where can that game be streamed?
I believe it's going to be streamed on YouTube or Paramount Plus. One of the two.
Okay.
Yes. So Paramount has the rights, but the last game was on YouTube, so we'll post the link of where you can stream it come game day. All right. scoreline prediction time. What are you thinking for this one?
I'm gonna go 4-0. Is that what we beat was that the scoreline of our first US Open
3-0.
Cup?
3-0
Okay.
against Red Force.
So I'm not gonna be as greedy and say 5-0. I'll just be happy with a 4-0 victory.
4-0. Okay.
Yeah.
These guys seem like they can score goals, so I think they're going to get a goal. I'll go 2-1 Naples, and we squeak by. I think that's what I said against Red Force too. But these guys, they do seem to step up from Red Force, so I think they might be able to get a goal given how they've performed in their league so far. I have no idea what the league competition looks like, but they seem like they're capable of scoring. So I'll go 2-1 Naples, and we advance. And I think the draw is scheduled for Friday in the Open Cup. So if we are able to win, look out for that. If not, we could see a CFL America, FC America CFL Spurs playing an MLS team possibly in the next round. Whoever wins this one, name will be back in the hat. So we will be back to preview our upcoming league game on Saturday night back at home against Greenville. And then after that, we take on Sarasota and then head up to Portland the following Sunday. So that one's Sunday the 19th up in Portland before we come back home to play one Knoxville. So games continue to come fast and thick, and looking forward to the rest of the season. Thank you all so much for listening. We will be back, hopefully, to recap the Open Cup game midweek and preview the Greenville match on Saturday. Thank you all so much for listening. Until next time, come on Naples.